This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman in New York, joined by Democracy. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman in New York, joined by Democracy.
Even 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 European. You know you have something going on. You have African nations, even European nations. Go ahead. Like you have African nations, even European nations. Yeah. You have African nations, even European nations. You know you have something going on. You know you have something going on. You know you have something going on. You have African nations. Hello, thank you for tuning in. My name is Larry Duncan Allen. Time off, and this is No More Water, Fire next time. Probably noticed my title about the United States and Europe being empires in decline. Why do I say that? Just look at the handwriting on the wall. You heard the old saying. You can see the handwriting on the wall. If you just look at it, you see that they're like on life support and holding on for dear life. They are doing all the things that empires do to try to hold on, but it's not working. When you find an empire in decline, one of the first things that they do is they try to take land from other people and take their natural resources, just as the United States is trying to do. They're trying to take land from Canada and Greenland, going after nations for their natural minerals, and then they start turning on their own citizens. The United States is doing all of those things. The reason that I say Europe is because it's the Caucasian race. Their dominance is coming to an end, and they do not want to let go of it. If you look at the over in Africa, they even putting the Europeans out, not just they're actually getting their soldiers out, the military bases, and keeping their own natural resources and doing their own manufacturing and their own refining now of their gold and other minerals, and they're handling their own finances, no longer letting themselves be used by Europe. The United States dominance in the world is coming to an end, and the person who they expected to make it to prolong its dominance, Trump, is the one who's helping it to come faster. All other nations have just about leaving the United States alone. The United States is almost an isolationist nation. It's going to be soon. It's going to be isolated soon. The United States used to be an isolationist nation. It used to be isolated until after World War II. When World War II is what brought it out of isolation. Many That's why many people during that time didn't want to enter World War II. Believe it or not, 1/3 of white people in this nation, I say white people, they say 1/3 of Americans. Black people, their opinion don't matter in this nation. 1/3 of white people in this nation wanted to join World War II on the side of Hitler. Did you know that? They have always made poor decisions. Like they've wrecked this economy, wrecked this nation. They've been the one in charge of $37 trillion debt. And that's not DEI or affirmative action. Those are white people who did that. You owe everyone, and you're not even respected anymore. You ran this nation in the ground. Black people didn't. Other people of color didn't. You ran this nation in the ground. Matter of fact, the other people, black people and the people of color, helped build this nation up. That's what made it put the United States ahead of the rest. Most of the innovation and inventions in the United States didn't come from white people. Most of the United States tech came from people from India and other immigrants from Nigeria. It came from immigrants. It didn't come from people. Here in this nation, black people made a lot of inventions. Matter of fact, there were black people who were brought here from Africa as slaves who brought ideas and innovations here. They weren't dumb people. They were educated in Africa. Excuse me. And the white people took it and patented it as though it was their own invention that some of the slaves they brought from Africa. Most of the tech done in this country now is done by foreigners, from immigrants, not from white people. Most of the hard work in this nation was done by others, first by the slaves, then by the Latino immigrants, because the European immigrants don't know anything about hard work. Caucasians just started doing hard work until they invented um, machinery to help out. Chinese, they brought in them to build the railroad tracks. But what they're doing to call themselves "Make America Great Again" is actually putting it in decline. The United States invented the atomic bomb ahead of Germany because they had people from around the world working on the bomb. They brought in people from around the world. But the very thing that helped build the United States up, they're trying to get rid of it. Because they make people think that the Caucasians did everything. They make all the tech, all the inventions, but they don't. Most of the inventions we have, we wouldn't have if it wasn't for others coming from around the world and black people here in this nation. Black people invented scores of things. Many black inventions were taken over by whites because at one time black people couldn't get patents. They had to go through a white person. The white people would patent it and take it as their own, and many times the black person didn't get a dime. The most diabolical, evil creature on the face of the earth. And it's about time for it to end. And right now they're on life support. They're trying to stay relevant by harming other people. The immigrants, now they're coming after black people. What's happening in DC, the reason they want to go into the black cities with black mayors is because they're trying to fish black people out. They tried to whip out ending most things that they thought would affect black people. Black people ignored them. So now since black people didn't come out, they're coming in after black people. But those people in DC, they need to stop going out there confronting. Go hang out indoors. Quit hanging out outdoors. You present yourself as a target to them. Although I go outdoors if I want, well, go ahead and see what happens. You're going FAFO. Because what they're doing can't last. Because we outlast everything else they've done. We'll outlast this. They've thrown everything at us. All I say to these black people in these cities when they come, they probably won't come to St. Louis because St. Louis has a white female mayor. They only come to the cities with black mayors, and they call it democratic cities just because the big cities, mostly black people migrate to big cities and vote Democratic. And the white people around the big cities, most of them vote Democratic. If you look during the presidential elections, look at the map. The whole state is red until you get to the big cities where most of the people are at. It's awful strange that white people who actually live around and be around black people vote Democratic, but the ones who don't vote Republican. If black people are so bad, why come the white people that know us vote Democratic around the ones around the metropolitan areas, but those out in the rural areas who are not around the white black people are voting Republican. They're talking about going after Chicago. He came out and said it with Democratic mayors. Oakland, Baltimore, and the thing about it, all the cities that he's talking about have seen a great reduction in crime. Every city with a black mayor, where black mayors has taken over, has seen a reduction in crime, not an increase. So maybe they need a DEI in the White House. And they may be losing control because J.D. Vance went to a National Guard, speaking to National Guards, and then and the National Guards was booing him. Don't keep counting on the military to help you. Many leaders in other countries did that. And the military was the one who had to get them out. And you know that third reign is coming to an end when the African nations is kicking Europeans out, and there's nothing that they can do about it. Africa has one of the youngest population of any nation, any continent. I heard that their average age is like 18. You can't get it any younger than that. And they're up and coming. The economies are up and coming. And what a lot of people don't realize, um, Barack Obama helped the Africans' economy. You see, the problem with the Democrats, they don't publicize everything they do. Joe Biden had a lot of accomplishments, but he didn't publicize it. And the Republicans, they can have very few minuscule accomplishments or none at all, but lie and make it seem like they've had big success. Everywhere the Caucasian go, they have ruined places. They've ruined environments. They've ruined people's culture, ruined the people's well-being. I mean, that you take Haiti. Haiti and the Dominican Republic, they share the same island. Dominica is prosperous, Haiti's not. Cuba's not. And the reason is the United States blocked Cuba, still has a blockade of Cuba, where people can't do business with them. Yet they still manage. That's why Cuba has those old cars back from the 1940s and 50s. In Haiti, Haiti could never be conquered by anyone. So, and even Napoleon, they kicked Napoleon's butt. But what happened is, so the United States, they ran the French out. So the United States and France kept Haiti out of the world market. No one to do business with them. Haiti had to pay reparations to France for the stuff that they weren't allowed to steal. They're like someone breaking your house and you're made to pay them for the stuff that you didn't allow them to steal. And it took Haiti 100 years to pay for it. And they're still blocking Haiti from doing any business. But see, big bad China and Russia, why don't they just tell the United States we'll do business with whoever we want to? They still they cower down to the United States. Yeah. But they may stop with Trump though. They see him as weak and pathetic. Did you know that after the meeting that Trump had with Putin, that when a couple of days later, when Russian tanks was going to Ukraine, they went in there flying American flags on Russian tanks, mocking the United States. But I don't feel sorry about it. I really don't care because if the United States is number one in the world or not, it doesn't help black people out that much. It's just something white people take pride in it. Haven't helped us any. I don't care if it's a superpower or not. Haven't helped us by being a superpower. May have hurt us. And that's all I'm concerned about. What's going to help us? What's going to help black people? You see how they're taking over Washington, D.C.? But do you, the same people who are crying about the immigrants, do you hear them saying anything about Washington, D.C.? Do you hear the Latinos saying anything about that? They're like, we have to fight our own fight. That's why we let you fight yours. Because we know you're not going to help us. But the black people still being kind of cool about that in Washington, D.C. So they're looking around finding things. But stop hanging out in packs outdoors. That's one thing those black guys got to stop. Hang out indoors or something. Why you got to hang out at all? You grown men, not children. These grown men hanging out. Go to work, go home until all this is over with. You're giving them a target, hanging all out, drinking and smoking in public. Wait till all this is over. You put a target on your back doing that. Just be inside and let them out to come find you. Don't be out there where they can see you. And all this yelling and screaming at them is go home. Go home. Do something. You just stand out there yelling and screaming at them. You can record them out your window. Don't make a target out of yourself. Unless you're ready to start shooting it out, just leave them alone. Go about your business. And I'm going to tell you, they're going to get enough of it because people are going to get tired. Like I say, when a nation is in decline, these are the type of taxes they do. They go after other folks' stuff in the world like Europe did in Africa. It prolonged them for a while. But now they're being kicked out all over Africa. The African nations are reaping from their own riches. They helped build up Europe. And it's about time. I don't see how they could have went through that this long, letting someone take your stuff. Keep crying about the ancestors. Oh, the ancestors didn't do you any good. They didn't do themselves any good. How they gonna do you some good? They didn't do anything any good alive. How they gonna help you dead? But getting back to the empires, when empires are in decline, they try to branch out, take other people's land, take their resources, then they turn inward on their own people. The United States is exhibiting. I don't say America. I say the United States because the United States, that would be like Nigeria just in Africa. They're not the only Africans. The United States are not the only, the Mexicans are American. Every nation on the Americas continent, North, South, and Central, are Americans. That's why I say the United States. They're a nation in decline, and when they do that, they don't look at how they failed. They try to go after other people. And they failed. The Caucasian has failed. They've been running this nation. They're the ones who got $37 trillion in debt. We didn't do that. It's not our fault. They're the ones who brought all the immigrants here. We didn't. And the immigrants didn't cause that $37 trillion debt. Everything that's gone wrong about this nation, it's been the Caucasians who have done it. Matter of fact, if it wasn't for the black people and the immigrants, this nation would have went down a long time ago. So no need of trying to blame others. You just mismanaged it. Everywhere black people have gained control, it has prospered and gotten better. Every city that has a black mayor, crime went down. the people prosper more. Black people is the one who built Atlanta. Atlanta was just a little hick town. Well, not a hick town, but just wasn't a well-known town. It was something like Memphis, Birmingham, nothing special. Mayor Minoid, uh, Mayor Maynard Jackson, the first black mayor of Atlanta. He came in. And his thing was building an airport. It was a $750 million airport, which now, in today's dollars, would probably be a couple trillion. And they criticized him. He's spending all that money on that airport. But that airport is what made Atlanta an international city. As a matter of fact, Atlanta's airport is the busiest airport in the world. But they really criticized this black man about the airport. Baltimore, crime is down 50% with the black mayor. All around the nation with black mayors, crime is down. When the black man became president of the United States, he had to come in and fix the economy. Black unemployment went at its lowest rate in history first under Obama. He started that trend. We would have gotten better, but Trump came in and ruined it, and then COVID. Biden repaired it. Have you ever noticed that every time a Republican come in, they ruin the economy, and when a Democrat come in, a Democratic president come in, they have to repair it. But yet they say but yet many Caucasians are still saying the Republicans are better for the economy. When have they been? They've wrecked it each time. Matter of fact, Bill Clinton left this nation with a balanced budget, without a deficit. George Bush came in and ruined it. Ruined it so bad it was almost about to reach the Great Depression level, and Obama had to come in and repair. His first 4 years was spent on repairing the economy that Bush had ruined. Anytime Republicans stay in for 8 years, they really wreck things. If Trump had got a second term before this one, this nation would have really been a mess. This nation is in decline. There's not much they can do about it. They're going to try. The first good thing is to blame immigrants and black people. We didn't ruin this nation, you did, with your ridiculous policies. Have you ever been to other countries? But if you could just go online, look at their cities, look at their skylines and how they look. Colorful, beautiful. Look at the United States cities, skylines. Duh. Even Africa. Have you seen those beautiful skylines? I'm not talking about them people living out in the bush. That'd be like the white folks living out in trailer courts. You don't judge the United States by that. But look at the skyline in Ghana, Accra. I mean, even the smaller nations. Beautiful cities. And you know what? Their power don't go out after every storm because their power lines is underground. Look at the United States. Still got power lines running through our cities, wires. Many of the other developed nations don't have that. You know why? To me, much of Europe and some of Africa cities was destroyed in World War II. The reason they attacked Africa because they were European colonies. But and all of their infrastructure is post World War II. They put their lines underground. The United States was untouched. They see that's why they had to have these overhead lines and never tried to repair the infrastructure. They spent since World War II been spending time fighting wars, spending trillions of dollars of war. Much of that debt the United States has is because of all of the wars that it was fighting. Ramming democracy down people's throats And now you're finding out that many people in this nation don't want a democracy anymore. They want a dictator. Look at all the people got killed tomorrow fighting for democracy. Now this nation is headed towards a fascist government. We're not heading towards it, it has. This haven't been officially said. The Constitution is not being applied anymore. The Supreme Court is a joke now. It's one of Trump's puppets. He's a dictator. How do you think these nations feel? You ramming democracy down their throats. That's why you did that to Cuba. You Cuba and Haiti, you ruined their nations and then wonder why they tried to come here. You ruined their economies and still ruining it. You wonder why they tried to come here. Trying to ram democracy down Cuba's throat. Now you're about to, now you don't have it. We don't have it anymore. We may not even have any more elections. Don't count on the midterm. I wouldn't even try to count on it. We may not even have any more elections. The so many of the European nations, they're feeling it also. Caucasians been getting ran out of everywhere. I wish there was a way they can get run out of Australia. Yeah, Aborigines, they just about killed off the Aborigines. They're not the natives of that land. The Aborigines are. And everywhere the Caucasian go, the original people of that land get mistreated. You take in Israel, the Ethiopian Jews treated like dogs over there. No one talks about that. You're afraid of being called anti-Semitic. Call me whatever you want to. I call it out. No, I got people texting me. Oh, you just anti-Semitic. I'm anti whatever the hell they doing over there. If you call that anti-Semitic, you can call it whatever you want to. They only call black people. They don't call white people anti-Semitic. They criticize Jews all the time, and you don't hear a word about it. Even Israel is in decline. I'll get them white people over there to them, and all these preachers siding with Israel, talking about the Bible. That's not Israel. Israel wasn't a nation of white people. Abraham, supposed to be the father of Israel. He's Iraqi. He was born outside of Baghdad. King Solomon is Ethiopian. So how's all those white people over there is Israel? It tells you in the scripture said there will be those occupying the land who are impostors. It says they are Jews, but they're not. They're impostors. Occupying the land, they're the synagogue of Satan. You don't hear people talking about that much. If you believe those people over there now is the true Jews, the children of Israel they talk about, now I don't know what to tell you because I don't. Look at the things they're doing. If those are God chosen people, you need to find another God. They cry about someone committing genocide against them, but that's all they're doing over there now. I don't care about the Palestinians, but still is what they're doing. I don't care about us now. I don't care about anybody else. Time out for that. Now the KKK talking about going into black neighborhoods in Ohio, but they're ready for it. There's one man who be one of these talking about he will go to the meeting and talk to them. Stop talking to them folks. Get ready for war. That's what you need to get ready for. Time for talking is over. You're not gonna prick nobody's country. Them people not gonna change. They've been that way for centuries. Quit trying to be their friend. Time for talking is over. Time to punch the bully in the nose. When people come at you physically, ain't no time for no talking. You people, black folks, they talking about coming to your town. Get ready for war. Stop talking all this nice, pretty stuff. In New Lenox, in Lincoln Heights, Ohio, they're ready. They've been ready. And that's what time I'm going. You got black men and women over there. They strapped and they got on. They walk around. They take their kids to school in body armor, their guns, and their mask on. They can wear masks, so can if they ICE and all these other people can wear masks, so can they. I'm gonna tell you, nobody, no mask people better not run up on me because it may be both our last day on earth. It's just gonna have to go down. Y'all go get your CCW while you still can, because they may try to stop that. If you see them, I'm gonna tell you, you men, you see them pulling these black women and children, masked men coming after them. Don't leave them out there. Now don't be having no phone video talking about that ain't right. They're not worried about no right and wrong. Half of these are Proud Boys and neo-Nazi and Klansmen they recruited. That's why they're wearing those masks. You deal with them. Deal with the consequences later. Cause I'm tired of this stuff. We trying to be everybody's buddy, trying to prick everybody's conscience. They don't. They didn't show you they don't have a conscience. Don't let them pull these women up in no van with mask on. You don't know who that is. I don't care if it's the police. I'm not gonna let them do it. They ain't gonna do it. You know, no business bothering these black women, children, or men. There's no immigrants in most of these black areas. You come up in there in a unmarked van, putting somebody in there. We need to deal with them. I don't care if I know it's the police. You have no business coming here pulling people up in vans for no reason. You gonna get they need to be dealt with too. It's time out for talking, it's time for war. Y'all need to stop playing with these people. But they're not playing with us. Oh, you need to stop talking like that. They're gonna come after you. Well, you just have to, because I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop. That's our problem. We've been too scared to talk about what we gotta do. We should have known that one day it was gonna come down to this. Oh, they got all the way back. Look how many people the United States have fought against and had to get and got ran up out of there. Mighty army killing people and still lose. Black folks should have known that one day it was gonna come down to this. We've done everything we could. We tried to reason, tried to integrate everything. Same results. Another reconstruction where we lose everything. You know that black people really don't have any rights anymore. They took away the Bill of Rights, voting rights. They really don't have to let us vote if they don't want to. They set our rights back over 100 years. And you still talking about talking to them? We don't need to talk. We did all the talking we need to do. Even the people, even the black people in Congress, you don't hear them talking about D.C. What's the Congressional Black Caucus with their little weak self? They ain't been nothing but a bunch of little weaklings. Do you hear them talking about reparations or anything like that? They talking about LGBTQ folks. The hell with them folks. They chose to be like that. That's not a race. How's your sexual preference a race? The Congressional Black Caucus is doing talking about them. Do you think if there was an LGBTQ caucus or a free caucus, that they be talking about black people rights? I'm concerned about black America. I don't care about no Jamaicans, no Haitians. They now call us foundational black Americans. You know why they calling us that? Because other people are trying to tell my black, we get reparations. All Africans, you get it. We so far removed from Africa. You don't hear white people who was in the foundation of this nation. We were in the foundation of this nation. It wasn't even a nation when we came in. We helped to build it. But you know who the white people who are in the foundation of it still call themselves Europeans. They call themselves Americans. This is just as much our nation as theirs. And the thing is, if we need to be concerned about ourselves. We're being concerned about all these other people. Because they're not concerned about us. All that no kings marches, when they put, put the mic to the leader's face, they said we're here for all the disenfranchised people, the marginalized people, women, the people of color, the homosexuals, the immigrants, Latinos. They mention everyone but black people. And the worst part is when I heard of one black woman talking, said, I'm here for women, people of color. They said went down the same line and left black men out. Why come black people can't say black people no more? Why we gotta separate ourselves by gender? Because when they come after us, they're not gonna come after us by gender. You're gonna want the black men to help you then. Why come you can't be joined with him right now? You're not gonna try to separate yourself from him then? Why separating yourself now? We're black people. We're not no black men and black women. We're black people. And that's the way the people who gonna come after us, that's the way they see it. As black people. You can keep that foolishness up if you want to. But look, we need to be concerned about ourselves. All these other folks, did you hear them talking about Washington, D.C., or them going into the black cities with black mayors? Did you hear them? They're not talking about it. The black Congress people, they're not talking about it. Jasmine, come on. Jasmine Crockett, come on. Talk about Washington, D.C., talk about us. We talk, people talked about the immigrants for a long time. Oh, they've been talking about them for a while. Why aren't they talking about them taking over the cities with black mayors? They're talking about black mayors. They're talking about going to Oakland and Baltimore, and all these cities have a reduction in crime where the black mayors are. And I can tell you something I saw when I was seeing a video of them just bothering people in Washington, D.C. And you people need to go and hang out indoors. Quit being out there where they giving them an open target. You should have saw the Metro Police. I could tell they weren't pleased. To watch the D.C. Metro Police, I could see they weren't pleased with those other agents and the National Guards in there. You could see them standing there. They weren't pleased at all because they don't. What police department want to be taken over? If I was a policeman, I know I wouldn't want someone to come in there taking over my department, which had lowered crime. Like you gonna tell me I don't know what I'm doing? That's what they're insulting the Washington D.C. police. Crime is down significantly in Washington D.C. What it was, black people was not engaging in these marches and all. Since black people wouldn't come out, they're taking and bringing it into black people. I'm gonna take a quick break, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, we're gonna have to be careful because I tell you right now, police department, you're not going against the people like that. I don't see it. And I wish the other cities would do that. See, in a lot of those large cities, the police don't know those people, and but here most of the police here know a lot of people here know some of their people. I don't see our department going against our people like that. I'm just standing around looking because I can even see the DC police. They weren't satisfied with that. But you saw them; they really weren't satisfied. And I don't blame them. They come in and taking over their department like they don't know what they're doing. And you may see the police get tired of that mess because no one wants to be. They're actually insulting the DC Police Department. They're actually insulting them. And just so long, people are going to take that insult. But still, back to the nation in decline. When you're $37 trillion in debt, you can never pay that back. Europe in debt all around the world. And Trump, he's helping to accelerate the decline with his policies. He's adding in even more debt and more deficit. And black people we didn't cause this debt. Immigrants didn't cause it. So who caused it? Caucasians, they caused it. They caused it. Diversity is what actually propelled the United States. He helped them to achieve the atomic bomb first. And without it, you couldn't have built this country because the white man was too lazy to work. I told you the other night. When did they ever work hard? Just like the fields, they talking about getting people to come and work the farms. They're mentioning everyone but white people. Won't they get out there and work? Too lazy. They were too lazy to pick the cotton in the agriculture. They had to bring in slaves. Too lazy to build structures. The black people had to build a White House, build the plantation houses, laid the infrastructure for Washington, D.C. and many of the southern cities. The only time the white man started doing some hard work is when they made machines help out. He sit on the machines while the black folks out there doing the hard work. I saw when I was a kid, I see a lot of time black men out there working hard, the white man sitting on top of the bulldozer. When it came to building the railroad, they got the Chinese to do that. So when did they do some hard work? Because black people stopped working on farms, they had to get the immigrants to come in to do it. When have they done some hard work? Black women was out there in the field. Latino women was out there in the field. Our women work harder than their men. So when have you done some hard work? But everyone else lazy. Black people lazy. And yet the immigrants call it black people lazy. That's why I say I'm not thinking about them. I'm thinking about us. I don't even feel sorry for them. Because they brought this on themselves. We didn't. You got white folks crying all over the internet. Black people were right. We don't need you to tell us that. We knew it in the first place. We knew it. You didn't. You caused in your own demise. But the bright spot to this is that it won't go like it did back in the 20th century because we have a lot of white allies that we didn't have before. Like when they thought when they stopped affirmative action and DEI, that it was going to black people were just going to lose their jobs. Whereas most of the white women lost their jobs because they were the ones who was benefiting from it. Because but see, Trump and these people so stupid. That's what they thought. Then we'll lose our jobs. Go on the go work the farms. But we black people, we know how to find ways to make money. It's not all illegal. Either. Most hustles we have are not illegal. People just think of the illegal ones. But but what we have a lot of white allies. That's why they started the woke program. That's not aimed at us. That's aimed at white people because many of them had woke up and they were siding with black people. I told you when black people stopped protesting after Ferguson in numbers, and almost all stopped altogether because I never did protest. I just you just go out to record a lot because I don't really believe in peaceful protest. Can't hurt me and then think I'm gonna respond with peace. Let me hurt you some, then we can talk about it. Then, but white people really did most of the Black Lives Matters marching. I told you before, you ride down Kings Highway Grand, you in the black area, you saw some Black Lives Matter signs people here or there. You got in the white neighborhoods, there were Black Lives Matter signs in just about every yard. They were doing most of the protesting. But the Latinos, I think it's best if you don't get out there with them because they're burning up police cars. What's that for? See, they're calling you violent thugs. He was giving them ammunition. Now, they drop throwing Molotov cocktails at police cars. You gave them the ammunition. And they were like the police cars that were just set there. What kind of they drive out? Got what they call them surveillance cars or something. When you do that, it's almost like they're proving their point. You say you don't want to go back to Mexico, back to Guatemala. Why are you flying their flag, running around with their flag to the country you don't want to go back to? See, black people can't be a part of anything like that. If let's say I was from Ghana, I say I don't want to go back. During my protest, I'm flying the Ghanaian flag. That don't even make sense. When you since you want to fly the flag, you can go over there where the flag is at. Black people are the only people who haven't flown another nation's flag in this land. Really, we haven't had one to fly. Really, we don't know. But white people fly the Confederate flag. That was a different nation responsible for the death of hundreds of thousands of U.S. citizens and was defeated in battle. How do the loser still fly the victor allow the loser to still fly their flag over your territory? The Mexicans, they fly the Mexican flag here. The Jews have flown the Israeli flag here. What flag have we flown? None, really. We haven't committed treason against this nation. White people have. Now, one black person has been tried for treason in the history of this nation. Been treated like dogs and still served in the military. Then when they came back from World War II, there was black soldiers being beaten by the police and killed with their uniform on. There was a mob that killed one soldier with his uniform on. And see, when a nation is in decline, they go around, they cause mayhem like they're doing now. like that's gonna uh, stop it. Now, that's not gonna prolong the decline. It's too late. You're sending all your tech people over to China. They're not coming here now. Because most of the United States tech was coming from immigrants from India and Nigeria and different other nations. But they had you thinking that white people was inventing everything. Look at all the things that black people invented. But if you don't say black and they say, why, I know that they would say, why you have to say black when you say about the invention? Because if you don't say black, you people will automatically think a white person invented it. But they don't mind saying black when a black person is on the internet be misbehaving. They bring up race. When white people fight, they talk about the fight. When black people fight, they talk about the race. And then when we bring up race, we playing the race card. They're the ones who keep putting the card in the deck. Stop putting it in the deck and it can't get played. But so far we've been good. I'm happy for the fact that we stayed out of all of those rallies and marches because we would have an arrow on our back since we wouldn't go out. They coming in after us, going into the cities after us. And you should see when they in D.C. It was all they could do is come and leave. Didn't have nothing to take anyone for. And you can see the police wasn't pleased with it. I saw the D.C. Metro Police. They weren't pleased with it. Who can blame them? You could someone else come taking over their jobs in this city. And if I was a policeman, I know I wouldn't be pleased with. You're trying to say we don't know what we're doing crime has been reduced. You're gonna still come take over our place. Now the Latinos, back to them. One reason that black people couldn't be out there with them, Latinos were spitting on black policemen, black LA policemen, calling them the N word. Yet you crying for black people to come help you, and you're doing something like that. Why should we help you? You never helped us. We've always been on our own. No one on. As a matter of fact, we have had more help from white people helping us against their own than we have from anyone else. Other white people have helped us more than anyone else. And so that's why I said we can't just throw them all out. And a lot of stuff we wouldn't have made without the help of other white people. They just about took over Black Lives Matter for us. They was having Black Lives, Black Lives Matter. It was just a slogan mostly because every march was considered a Black Lives Matter march because they were having Black Lives Matter marches in cities that were all white, and we appreciate that. But those white people know who we're talking about. Those who are part of the system, and those who are doing what we're talking about. You see, the thing, what we different between us, we'll make the distinction. They don't make the distinction between us. It's just the black folks. But look, town like East St. Louis, I don't see them coming here. It's not big enough. St. Louis, Trump is not going to try it there because they have a white mayor. He may, if Tashara Jones was still mayor, they may have tried it. And to be honest with you, most of the violent cities are in red states. The ones in the blue states with black mayors. crime has actually increased. Isn't it ironic how they try to talk about DEI, and really black people get on their own merits? How does black people make the best police? You ever notice that? When black police chief, black men become chief, crime goes down. You don't see the black policeman shooting people. Somebody thought he had a gun, kneeling down on people's necks. You don't see the black policeman go down. I had a white friend of mine. And during the George Floyd, and they said they need to hire more black policemen. You know what he said me to say? But are they going to be qualified? Even when they're your friend, you got to watch it. You know what I'm saying? So I said, what do you mean by if they're qualified? Now, how policemen do they become policemen? They go to police academy, right? They graduate from the academy, or they're brought in, already been through the academy, brought in coming in from another department. I says, that's how the white ones do. I said, how does the black ones come policemen the same way? If they if they met the same qualifications, why is the white ones qualified and the black ones not? Why are you not calling into question the white ones' qualifications? You trying to say black people are inferior? He turned red in the face. Then it's about why I see when they were looting, they didn't steal any work boots because working people buy their own boots. If white people's looting, they wouldn't. They when they loot, they don't steal work boots. And to insinuate that black people don't work, and then I said, look, this white guy told him, I said, look, you be around black people, mostly around black people. Why would you say something like that when the black people you know they work? They all buy into it. Tell you what, they say they say black people should work the farms because they don't have jobs. I know a lot of white folks who don't have jobs. They get the most Section 8, they get the most welfare. Matter of fact, the biggest welfare recipients is middle class white people. You don't find middle class black people getting welfare that I know of. If it is, it's not in numbers. Put them out on the farm. Let them work the farm. They're naming every demographic of people to go work the farm except for white people. But everyone else is lazy. At least according to you. You have to stabilize this entire world. It's time for this foolishness to come to an end. You ruin the environment everywhere you go. You kill more people on this planet in the last 300 years than all race other people combined in the history of this planet. Time for this foolishness to come to an end. You've had your reign of terror. It's time for it to come to an end. And it's been a reign of terror. I heard him talking about these white women and everyone. But that's slavery. There's been slavery for over a thousand years. But what did that have to do with the slavery here? There's been murder for longer than that. So let's make murder okay because it's been around for a long time. That we talk about what happened here with us. We don't have nothing to do with what happened with someone else. The reason I say us, I'm not even talking about no Jamaicans. The Jamaicans talking about you all don't have a country. We do. It's called the United States of America. Who's at the foundation of this nation? It's just like saying the white people here don't have a country. You don't call them Europeans, you call them Americans. How can we be immigrants? They thought we were the immigrants who were going to be deported. This wasn't even a nation. You immigrate to a nation. This wasn't even a nation when we came here. That's why now they're calling us foundational black Americans to separate us from the Africans. They're trying to get part of some of the reparations they're going to be in on it. When y'all come over here with that, we'll cut y'all throat. Take you with your own machete. Once sold us, and nigga sold us, and then gonna tell me you can get part of the money. Your ancestors sold ours. You tell me what you gonna get. Yeah, you come over here for some money if you want to. You Jamaicans, you went on down there to Jamaica. You Haitians, you all got your own. You're not getting none of our money. And more than likely, we're not gonna get it. But we did, you all keep your hands out of it. But it won't be nothing for you to get your hands in. They're not giving us reparations. No. It just lets us face the truth. We just have to go on from here. And those who tell us on their own little white towns, oh, you can tell when they're in decline. The people get tribal when they have problems. But most most white people in this nation already live in all white towns, all white cities, all white areas. Black people mostly live in metropolitan areas. Once you leave, you don't hardly find a black person. So he can go pick a town. You don't have to start one. Until they keep it to my why black people upset because white people start their own town. When did we say we were upset? Start as many as you want to. They say there's still sundown town. Most black people don't even know about it because most of those towns they call sundown towns, them little hick towns, black people don't even want to be in them in sun up. Most white people don't want to be in them. We never desired to be around you. You just won't leave us alone. We tried to start our own towns, you wouldn't let us. Kept burning them down. Scared we was gonna outdo you, which we were. That's why you burnt them down. We don't care what you do. We just want you to leave us alone. Why is that so hard for you to do? You know if you leave us alone, we're gonna prosper. And you don't want to see us do that. Because it would make a mockery of everything you ever said about us. But it's too late. A lot of white people have woke up from that sleep you had them in. Taking us out of books and the Smithsonian and everything is too late for that. Besides black folks, we don't need no government to sanction everything we do. We need to celebrate King's Day even though it's no longer sanctioned. Matter of fact, it may be best they don't. Keep them out of our business as much as we can. We can celebrate Juneteenth or Kwanzaa, anything we want to. We don't need to be recognized by them. Look at Cinco de Mayo. It's one of the biggest holidays. It's not sanctioned by the government. Matter of fact, you have more black people there than you do at Juneteenth. So anytime you have the government sanction something, they're gonna don't be surprised when they put their hands in it. When they start paying for abortions, you shouldn't be surprised when they put their hands in it. You can't say, "Give me my money," and you can't tell me nothing. Let me get the abortion you pay for it, and you can't tell me nothing. It don't work like that. You can't say only women can vote on abortion. They say only black people can vote on black issues. Latinos on Latino issues. It don't work like that. White people on white issues. Yeah, men are gonna vote on it, and they always voted for abortion. That's why they had to take it to the Supreme Court. They would have voted it back in again had it not went to the Supreme Court. It was an automatic yes vote. But Trump had the Supreme Court to do it. Matter of fact, Clarence Thomas wanted to go after all other rights, which they're doing now. He think he's exempt from things that happens to black people. They'll show him. And I'm gonna tell you, black people, you in this Pan African stuff. Why are you all so Pan African, but you still here? When you going on over there? You just running a scam like Marcus Garvey did. Marcus Garvey went them was a scam artist until you're a Garveyite. And then you're a spamite. You gonna buy a ship. Tomorrow, have black people give him money say, so he can buy a ship and take them back to Africa. Back in the 1920s, if you had money and you give him, you could use that money to go to Africa yourself. You didn't need him. He hadn't even bought a ship. He scammed those people money. And he even went to prison for 5 years for it. They used to go, oh, they knew he was going to help black people go back to Africa. That's why they put him in jail. No, you could have went to Africa yourself. You didn't need him. You didn't need no ship. Him didn't have no ship to take you. See, mostly you have to be careful of these people coming with their Pan African stuff. If they were so pro Africa, they'd be over there. They wouldn't still be. All the pro African folks I know over here, they still here. Umar Johnson, still here. They haven't gone anymore and they're not going anymore. Now don't let me start on, I know this is about the declination of these nations and of the Caucasian race, but now let me start on Umar Johnson when they're big and folks. His bank accounts froze. Now they're getting ready to auction his schools off. They haven't been paying the fees he's supposed to pay, but not his schools, his buildings. Because he never opened the school. The buildings are dilapidated. And they getting ready to auction them out. Too much. They froze his bank account, froze the school bank account. They didn't freeze nothing. You just spent that money and you out of money. Cause he always get on with his cell phone. Everyone else have a podcast studio. He walking down the street in a hotel room with the begging people for money. Comes a time, when people get tired of giving their money up. And then tell people they better give them money. You tell people if they don't give them enough money tomorrow, you don't like it, we can go outside. Over their money? And he's supposed to be Dr. Umar Johnson. He act like a doctor of what? Hoodology? Hoodlum doctorate? You have to quit falling for these people. And that's going to be, and see, when things get out of hand, they're going to be black people coming to tell you tomorrow, let's find a peaceful solution. It may not be a peaceful solution soon. And don't let these people just run up on you and do what you got to do. And we all knew it may come to this one day. We've tried everything else. Don't start nothing, but you don't take it either. You can't just let people come and harm you and you just stand there and take it. You just can't take it. Let them harm you and or your people. It's just so much a person can take. You see, but the people who have destabilized this world, their reign is coming to an end. They know it. Yeah, they know it. That's why they're behaving the way that they're behaving. They're becoming very volatile. We have to stick and do what we can do and try to do it in the best way that we can. But all I can say is, if they bring the National Guard to your town, stop hanging out in these groups drinking. Go inside or go home. These ones I see doing it, they're grown men. Go to work, go home. Why you gotta sit out in groups outdoors, hanging out. I hung out when I was in high school, when I was 18, 19 years old. Grown man, ain't got time for no hanging out. I look like standing around with some guys talking about we just hanging out at my age. But any grown man, you hang out, take care of business, go to work, go home, something. Hanging out on corners and all that. Grown men, you're making yourself an open target. Matter of fact, I didn't even hang out when I was a teenager because I didn't really deal with a lot of people. That's why I was never in any trouble. Hang out, grown men, standing on the corners drinking, and that's illegal anyway. You're making yourself an open target. If you're going to drink, go home and drink. Or whatever you do. Stand on the corner smoking weed. But you got to realize that weed you buy from Pookie and Ray Ray is not legal. It's still not legal. And weed is not legal everywhere. Especially that you buy from Pookie and Ray Ray. That's not legal. This is one from the dispensaries that's legal. Yeah, but look, still, like I said, if they do bring the National Guard to your town, just stay indoors. Don't make yourself an open target out there yelling and hollering at them. Just go on about your business. That's what I do. Go on, as long as it's not bothering me or mine. I'm trying to throw people up in no more vans. I can't go along with that. Especially throwing these women up in there, these children. I can't go along with that. I'm gonna have to break some peace myself then. But if they just coming in there like they ready, because if the people, okay, if people was committing crime, why you gotta go up in there? It's like they were just trying to show force. Because the criminal's not gonna be out there committing crime while you out there. The way they catch criminals committing crime, they have surveillance. And then they can determine if you're committing crimes. Not just coming out there with a bunch of people admiring their own business. How you gonna prove anything? You can't. And these are grown. See where they go wrong at. These are grown, settled people they're going after. Most of what I seen, black people in that demographic don't commit a lot of crime, especially not the serious crimes. I read an FBI report, which was from back in 2020. They should be updating it this year. It says that 90% of the crime in the black community, 90% of the serious crimes, is committed by less than 2% of the same repeat offenders between the ages of 14 and 22. So why are they going after all these middle-aged people? Black people who have jobs and working don't commit a lot of crimes. Most of it is economics. I'm not saying they don't commit no crime, no people gonna be perfect. We're expected to be, but no one's gonna be perfect. But they don't go after the demographics who commit the crime. Your local police know who to go after. When they brought the state police in East St. Louis, I was living in LA then, but I came back here. I was visiting, and people were saying how the state police, they knew they had a gang problem there. He said the state police is going after the middle-aged people on the way home from work. No, going after them. Those people are not in gangs. But see, the local police would know who to go after. So when you try to take the role away from the local police, you cause more problems than you solve. And these communities getting these black mayors, and crime is going down in most of these cities. And the cities with the most highest crime rates are in red states anyway. St. Louis will always be the crime capital. It's in a red state. But they're not talking about sending anyone there because they have a white mayor. They probably would if Tashara Jones was still mayor. They're not worried about a town like East St. Louis, too small. And our crime rate is down very significantly. But when you have a city poor people, low income people, you're gonna have some crime because of economics. But East St. Louis has a low crime rate anyway. Still has a low crime rate now. So they coming in too late. Now we have the state police headquarters coming, but it won't be to reduce crime because it's too late now. It's already reduced. Needed they want to try that, they should have tried that years ago. But I'm very pleased that black people haven't gotten out here clowning with these folks. They're just lying low. I need to continue to do so. And if they bring the National Guards and whoever these Proud Boys whoever else they got into your town, if you're not standing out there on the corner, stop standing out there on these corners all outside these buildings, drinking and smoking. And go home. Don't make it that easy for them to find you and just run up on you like that. But once they run up on you, you may just we're going to be quiet and cooperate with them. But you're not going to get a win in that situation because these people standing around talking tough, they're not going to help you. They stand around and record and talk a bunch of tough talk, but not going to do anything. Yeah, so go in the house. If they come in here, go in the house because this they're trying to hold on to their power. Now I see what Trump meant by when he told the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by, and they stood by until they can join ICE. That's who a lot of those ICE agents are, white supremacists, neo-Nazis, Klansmen. But they, like I said, we're in a pretty good position right now. If we don't get into our emotions and all, and give them a reason. They don't need a reason. They create their own, but they still don't give them one. Like I said, stand out in DC. Those are the ones they're coming after in DC. Those standing out there drinking, smoking, all outdoors in front of the building, on corners. That's most of who they're coming after. Go home or somewhere. That's all you got to do. Let them come find you indoors. All you gotta do is go home, stop out and hanging out, and it won't be that easy for them. I can guarantee you those local police is not pleased with that at all. I could see some of those DC policemen, like I said, they didn't look pleased at all. I don't blame them. I don't. They were disrespected enough on January 6th. Now they have to go through this disrespect. Someone coming in and taking over the department. They disrespecting the DC police, I think. Well, I know they are. But when you're in decline, you're thinking of all type of tactics. And that's what they have now, just a bunch of tactics. For people who are trying to hold on to power that they see slipping away from them. See, where I'm at, we don't see a lot of that because we're in an all black area, not a very large place, so we're not even on their radar. But I have noticed I've seen more Latinos coming shopping in this area. They had those flea markets on Saturday. They're not at the old flea market. They setting up shop at the one in East St. Louis, Mama. In East St. Louis, I'm gonna tell you about the people here. Don't hide any of those people. It's a felony. Don't hide any of them. They wouldn't have hid you. Keep yourself out of that. Stay completely out of it. That immigrant issue, let the immigrants deal with that. It's like we have to deal with our own problems, let other people deal with their own problems. I don't see other people coming dealing with that in DC. They marching downtown about the National Guard, but nothing about them running all up in the black neighborhoods. These MAGA people, they believe anything Trump says. And the black MAGA people, now they know that, don't you know that you're not exempt? You voted against and you're speaking against the future of your own children and grandchildren. Because things that Trump doing, the way he's going right now, he's gonna go against him, especially that bill, the one bill he has passed. And he's the best president ever, and only got one bill passed in 8 or 9 months. That's pretty slow. Ah, I'm gonna get a little sleepy. But look, the so if they do come to your town, it's gonna be cool. Don't try to engage them. Stay indoors. You don't have to hang out like a child. Stay indoors. Let them find you. Let them have to come inside to find you. Don't be out there hanging out where they can find you. You know, hanging your grown self out there, hanging out anyway. Make you like a little kid doing that. Time to grow up and start doing some adult things. Grown, mature man don't hang out on no corner. You hang out all in front of a building. And be honest with you, if you hang out like that, policemen do have can come up to see what's going on. If a bunch of you hanging out like that, especially if you're drinking and smoking, you're giving them a reason. But when this all is said and done, they're gonna come after you. kind of amping it up. Because I believe, I always said this, these people are different. They'll burn this world up before they give it up. Before they turn power over to someone else, they be willing to scorch this world. If they can't have it, no one can have it. And China talk tough, but the United States still have it with China and Russia. I don't know what it is about this man that make everyone afraid of him. I believe it's some other people pulling the strings because Trump don't have the mental capacity to think of all of this himself. There has to be someone else involved, advising him or giving out the orders. Because I doubt if it's him. And I'm very serious if it's him. We can't let them pull us into some things that we don't want to be into. They're coming. Just as we withstand them in the past, we'll do it this time. Like I said, don't let them pull none of these people up in no van. Unmarked van with masks on. Don't let them do that. We got to start protecting each other if necessary. You know, I better call it a night. I'm getting a little sleep. I don't want to sit here and fall asleep. I started a little late tonight. Like I said, I think we're in a pretty good position. This we're dealing with a race of people whose dominance is in decline now, and they're trying to hold on for dear life. Like I said, when the Africans can give the Europeans the boot and say don't come back, then as you know things are changing. It's not because of no ancestors. Those ancestors couldn't even please, they couldn't help themselves alive. How are they going to help you dead? I'm calling on spirit of the ancestors. The ancestors is here and they got their butts kicked too. How are they going to help you? I better call it a night. I'm getting a little sleepy. But yeah, but take a look and see. Look it up. You'll find it. The signs that show when the empire is in decline. The United States have met all requirements and more. I'm gonna call it a night. I'm getting ready to sleep. I'm going to keep my eyes open. So come on earlier next time. But thank you for tuning in and join me next time. Like and share if you can. I'm trying to build my audience, but I had a big audience before COVID. But I stopped doing it. Okay, thanks for tuning in and I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you tuning in. Please like and share this if you can. Thanks.